Uvalde Radio, it's Robert Miguel. Good morning, and we're just about ready for the weekend, having a good time. So, track there by Jaret Ray Reddick, and his first single, one of the good ones, and we're excited because he is one of the great ones. I think I just made a Facebook comment recently calling him a GOAT, one of the greatest of all time.
Oh, man. Well, that means a lot coming from you, sir. You have certainly been a champion of music from local Dallas music to now to Texas music, and I mean, dude, you are definitely one of the good ones.
You are the man. It's Jaret Ray Reddick on the phone. Welcome, sir. You're too kind, by the way.
Good to be here.
You're too kind. It's good to talk to you again, man. So you have been one busy MFer. That's pretty risky for me to say that on my country station here.
Yeah, I have been busy. It's not really unlike life previous to this. It's
right.
Just that it's more stuff that I'm able to put out there. But during lockdown, I kind of stopped writing for other artists, and I stopped directing videos, and I stopped producing other bands, and really just wanted to focus on making music. And so it's been really, really a great move for me because I'm just so happy.
So basically, to recap, you got Jaret Reddick here, the lead singer, the main man for Bowling for Soup, who has very successful pop punk band. When possible, you guys are always on the road and just always pound the pavement, putting out records and singles consistently. So there's always that. Yeah. And then again, you've done all kinds of stuff, voice work and Chuck E. Cheese. You got cartoon songs. I mean, we could do the list. We've done it all before. Basically, you're a super busy guy. And then last year, about a year and maybe 3 months ago, maybe you put out a country record. Just kind of out of nowhere is what it felt like, right?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's something that I've been talking about doing for a long time, and something I've been talking with my friends about. It's like, man, I got to do this. And as unfortunate as the pandemic itself was, it afforded me the time finally to just sit and do it. And I really kind of had to do it. From a mental health point, I needed something to do, and so I finally got it out there. And like you said, it came out a little over a year ago, and all 3 singles, and thanks to you guys at Uvalde, radio.net for backing me up and for playing the songs and for keeping me on the charts. And I'm just super blessed, and also I've just met such great people. This genre of music is so cool, and I'm just having a freaking blast, Robert.
I think that's going to be the most fun about what we're going to talk about today, because I feel like you and I spoke pretty early on, right when the album came out. I've known you for a while as the rocker, and now you've spent a good solid year plus as a legitimate country artist now, man. So you have to have a much clearer perspective, on things now. So Let's dig into it, man. So, a while back, you were doing your first official show, sold out with Bree Bagwell, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
And now you've got several under your belt. So, how the live shows been going? And I know you've done plenty of whether it's solo or like acoustic duo, stripped back, or full band. How have the live country shows been going for you?
It's been going great. As you said, I got a really nice jump start playing with Bree at Green Hall, sold out for her CD release show. Man, almost a year ago, and it's just so crazy. But man, the band since then, we played so many shows, and we're having a blast. I bought a van. We're back to pounding the pavement, humping gear at 105 degrees, and little dressing rooms, and playing to crowds of 10 to 100, and and beyond. And man, I'm having a ball, and we're firing on all cylinders. We just opened up for Corey Morrow last week at Legacy Hall. We had a bunch of people that had seen us here in Dallas several times. They're like, you guys are on a definite another level. So I'm just excited, and we're continuing to play. This weekend tonight we're in De Leon, and then Saturday tomorrow we're in Abilene, and then in a couple of weeks we'll be in Wichita Falls and Denton, and then I got to go to Bowling for Soup Land for a while, but back to playing country in November.
Now. Let's be honest, though. You've been kind of doing Bowling for Soup and country for a year now. That has, first of all, it's got to be a very, I guess, dual. You mentioned it earlier. You're kind of back to square one in a sense that you're doing these smaller venues. You're loading some of your own gear. You're doing it honestly. You're paying your dues in the country genre, but you are a mega superstar. On the world stage. What's it like taking off those hats? Jumping on the big jet airplane for the Bowling for Soup show. You know what I mean? And getting in the van for Jaret Ray Reddick.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. There's obviously some things that I do miss, the comfort of the bus and obviously walking into a dressing room that's loaded full of the stuff that we asked for that day.
Yeah.
Our rider and stuff like that. But at the same time, mostly, Bowling for Soup was in the band for 9 years, and most of the stories that we tell, if we're sitting down and talking stories and stuff, come from that age and that era, because you're in the van, you're sort of forced to be together, and it brings you closer together. So honestly, this will be in our first year as a band, and as I said, back in the van, we named our van Rick. And so being in Rick and rolling down the highway and, it's bringing us, we're functioning like a real band, and we are a real band, and I'm really loving it.
Is there a certain amount of like deja vu and like you're kind of is it kickstarting some old memories of when you guys were paying your dues as a punk band?
It's so much easier now. Because you got to think, we were 94 to 2003. We were in the van, in Bowling for Soup, and I remember when 24-hour Walmart became a thing. And everything was on payphone. Shoot, now we're directions on our phone, and your van tells you if your tire is low. And, it's just so much more convenient to be out there on the road now. But definitely some flashbacks. I really enjoy the late night drives, especially if I'm not driving. And we're all, playing music, and just, we do a thing pretty much similar to the way that we did it back in the day, where we would trade off playing songs on CD, and now we're playing it on one of the streaming sites or whatever, and just, everybody just sharing their taste in music together and stuff, and it really just brings you together.
You got such a unique perspective on this touring thing, man. It's just amazing, and anybody that knows you or follows you closely on social media knows that you are a humble guy. But I feel like this new, embarking on this whole country thing is keeping you even more humble. You know what I mean? Keeping you grounded.
Yeah, well, for me, like, I've done side projects in the past. I've had a few side bands, and it's pretty clear. It was very clear to me in all of the side projects that I've done, whether it's Jaret and Kelly or Jarinus or People on Vacation, or all bands that I've started in the past. And, it's not a perfect translation. Maybe you have a little bit of a leg up because there's some hardcore fans that are going to follow you no matter what, but you're always left out there to earn it. And especially, here as I'm switching genres, I'm very lucky in that there's some people who knew who I was and all that, but I had to get past sort of the head turns and some of that, and as you said, really earn my way in. And luckily, it's starting to happen, and people have been very, very receptive. But I am for sure, as I said, I was in the van. We did 3 shows: Amarillo, Fort Collins, and Wellington, Kansas last weekend, and that was 30 hours in the van.
Yeah.
And at 51 years old, man, if I'm choosing to do that, to get out there and to spend that time away from my family, to be, doing 9-hour drives a day just to go play shows, whether people are going to show up or not, it certainly, I think, should show everybody that I definitely mean this.
And this record, this project is very much, it's very personal, which we're going to get into, because your latest single is probably, it seems to me like the most personal lyric on the record. Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll get into that in a minute, though. But I just kind of want to stay on this with you having a year out with the country album. Obviously, you're Jaret from Bowling for Soup. Your fans, your original fans, have had a year to also flesh out what they think. As far as your old school pop punk bands, and you know what? Let's be honest, man. Some pop punk fans tend to be a little cooler, but hardcore punk fans can be very narrow-minded. What has that been like as far as you, like I said, you got a year to kind of flesh out the haters and the lovers, and what's that balance been like so far?
Luckily, Personally, for me, my band sort of did that for me. Bowling for Soup, we were that sort of band that was on the outskirts of all of it because we're a pop-punk band from Texas. And everybody else at the time was from California or Florida, and then then we've got the Canadian Sum 41 and Simple Plan come in or whatever. But we were never really considered cool.
Yeah.
And so just the fact that we've managed to hang on for so long, and I think really just our personalities off the stage too, got us that acceptance into that world. So, and the lines have really blurred. You're definitely right about the hardcore punk fans. I mean, even ska. Like we would play a show with Real Big Fish, back in 2006 or something, and half the audience would turn their back to us.
Wow.
Those days are kind of over. I mean, it really melds in together a little bit better. So really, I didn't really have a ton of backlash. It was, it's really, I thought more of the backlash would come from the country fans of going, oh, this guy just, he did this and now he just thinks he can come over and do that. But really, what I got more of was, oh, well, that makes sense. That guy's from Wichita Falls, Texas, and he talks about Willie Nelson all the time. And, and we see him posting from old 97s and Casey Donahue shows and stuff. So, I'm on record as saying that Willie Nelson is my favorite songwriter. So, it's not a lot of backlash from me, which I'm very, very thankful of. But you know what? Had it been there, I would have fought through it like I do anything else. Because if I believe in what I'm doing, I'm going to continue on, and I just fight.
Let's do an aside. You just name drop Willie Nelson, but I happen to know from a recent Facebook post and years of loving on this guy that you love Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. So let's talk rock for a second. What's going on? It's summertime. Lots of big rock tours. I know you've been going to some country shows. What's going on in Jaret Ray Reddick's world of rock these days? I
actually just put a TikTok and a reel out of me singing Skid Row and. Which is, yes, I am a metal guy. I love, we're doing a rock festival down in Key West in January, and I'm excited to go there the night before our show, and I'm going to be singing with Bret Michaels, my good friend.
Nice.
So, I do stay current in that world as well, as much as I can. I mean, some of those bands are a little bit of a mess. I don't know, I don't know who's in Rat anymore.
Right, who cares, right?
Yeah, it's so confusing. But I can say from the rock side of me, Bowling for Soup is going on. We start celebrating 30 years next year, and it's going to be a busy, busy year.
So with that said, obviously next year is going to be very dedicated to Bowling for Soup, I'm going to assume. Any timeline on new country material? Is that something you're working on kind of in the background, or is that something that's going to be, or should we expect it to take a little bit longer? No, I'm working on country right now. Actually, I've got a couple of surprises coming out in the next couple of months, and but I'll be releasing. So I'm not gonna make myself go in and do a whole new record while I'm trying. I really need to make sure that I'm paying enough attention to both things. I definitely want to do the country thing. I'm just loving it so much, and I don't want to stop. So I'm going to do more singles, and then after next year, then I can sit down and look back on the singles that I've got and make that into a full record. And that's my plan right now. But I've got some songs written that are really great. I've got some good. A couple of good collabs in the works right now, and so definitely will be stuff coming out soon, and I'll keep it coming. Now, as far as Just Woke Up, the country album, Zach Malloy was a big part of that too. Will you be working with him on the next batch of country stuff? Yeah, I think for sure. I'm not sure whether we'll do it though. I mean, he's busy too. Yeah. But we do have a couple of songs in the works. Zach and I just played the Bluebird Cafe last week in Nashville, and that was just a special, special day. And so we're still very much, spending time together and working together. It just, I think timing is going to be the big thing as to how much we can really do together. But in some capacity, 100%. Very good. Hey, again, we're talking to Jaret Ray Reddick. Of course, that's Jaret Reddick from Bowling for Soup, and of course, the astounding, just awesome country career that you've started off here. Jaret, I know you can go to your website, which is now you got an official country website now, right? JaretRayReddick.com, if I'm not mistaken. So I sure do. JaretRayReddick.com, and actually, JaretReddick.com leads you there now. Yep. And BowlingForSoup.com. But I'm on social media as well, and I'm super
active on Twitter and if you're on Instagram, and I'm good about answering back if you're looking to ask me something, I try to be as good as I can about answering back. So,
well, speaking of social media, what about that Threads thing? I saw you jumped on that for a minute. How's that been going?
Yeah, I'm still on there. It's funny because I like 5,000 followers is pretty good compared to as I'm looking around, I'm just kind of trying to make sure I'm not getting left behind. But it's still, I go over to put the same thing on Twitter and it gets a little bit better response. But I don't know. I'm having more fun on Threads because it's like Twitter used to be. It's just you just put out a comment and then people comment on it, and that's it. And I really liked that aspect of Twitter when it was just like, I think of 5 funny things to say a day and I put it out there, and I don't find myself worried about how many people see it.
Before we get into the new song, because I know you want to talk all about the new single and video, I know that you were your buddy Bree Bagwell's first guest on her new podcast. And I know you've got your own set of podcasts. I know you're super busy. Let's talk about that stuff. Tell me about being on Bree's show, and tell me how many of your podcasts are still active and how you squeeze time in to get those done.
Bree and I have gotten to be really good as we played together several times, and I got to do her podcast, and I think it was right after we did the Green Hall thing, and we just really hit it off. She's just a wonderful human being, and she's so funny and just she's a beautiful inside and out. The only podcast I really have going still is the Rockstar Dad Show, which is just, talking to musicians, actors, comedians, neighbors, about, what's going on in their lives and their professional lives, but also just about being dads and how they balance all that, and we talk about our own kids on there quite a bit. And but that's just you can find that everywhere at Rockstar Dad Show, and it comes out every Wednesday, and it's doing really, really well for us. We're having a lot of fun doing that. That's me and the drummer from Gary from Bowling for Soup that do that one.
Now I know you used to do a movie thing, which actually you guys usually kind of used to feature like retro older movies. But I know you're a big movie buff and a big fan. It is summer. What have you been checking out in theaters? Did you see Barbie? Did you see Oppenheimer? What have you had time to watch?
I've been doing shows, so I haven't been to shows. I did go see we see every kids movie that comes out because my family and I love to go see movies, and my kid is 10, so pretty much if there's a kids movie out there, we've seen it. I do want to go see the Barbie movie, and I would like to see Oppenheimer. Next Wednesday is my anniversary, and so I think we may go get a steak. Go see Oppenheimer on date night, and that'll be our big night out.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
We're a little bit more boring than we were.
Hey, wait, how many years are you guys going to be celebrating?
This will be 11 years.
11 years, man. Congratulations. Very cool.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. All right, man. Well, you have answered enough of my trivial questions. Let's talk about it, man. The newest single, Royal Family, which is doing great here on Uvalde Radio, climbing up the Texas charts. You got a really cool video for it. And like I said earlier, this seems like a very personal song. It sounds like these were just came right out of your actual life story, right? So tell me about Royal Family, the new single. Yeah,
Royal Family is as autobiographical as a song can get. It's my biological sisters found me about 5 or 6 years ago. I never met their dad, which is our biological father, and I grew up knowing that my dad adopted me, but not really knowing who. I don't mean not really. I mean, I didn't know who my biological father was, and so I've had a whole bunch of that nature versus nurture stuff in my life the last few years, and I've really gotten to I think the pandemic afforded me also the ability to really take stock and to really embrace those that I hold close and those that hold me close. So this song touches on all of that. It touches on my parents and my kids and my wife and my young son, but it also touches on my band, who are my brothers. And but I think there's, what everybody says to me is when I first hear it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a song about him. And then I think everybody finds something in it that they can
right,
that they can relate to. So it's a very special song to me. That's for sure.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, the song is doing great. Do you guys feel like there's going to be more singles off the record, or are you going to take a break after this third single? Because you're three deep, man. That's pretty good. That's pretty fantastic.
It's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to press my luck and do another one just unless something just happens and somebody starts spinning it or whatever. But I think it'll be time to start focusing on new things and playing out live and just keeping everything grooving, and staying out there.
Well, man, the record is fantastic. So anybody who doesn't have it yet, be sure and grab Jaret Ray Reddick's album, Just Woke Up. He got some good guest appearances on there, some great songs. And you know what? If you love country music, you're going to like it. If you like Texas country, you're going to love it. If you like Bowling for Soup and pop punk, you're going to love it. It's just kind of a really well-rounded, easily accessible record. And you know what? It really, what it boils down to is your delivery, your voice, just the earnestness in which you sing. I think anybody can kind of grasp onto that, man. So, Jaret, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. Any other big news we got to get before we get the song on the radio?
That's it, man. Let's just play this thing.
All right. Well, thanks again for checking in. Again, Jaret Ray Reddick.
Thank you, brother.
Get the new record. Here's the song. It's called Royal Family, and this is Uvalde Radio. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Robert.